This movement of securities from off-chain to on-chain systems is akin to the transition of audio recordings from I'm maybe one of the only few here in the room who remember this, from analog vinyl records and even older ones that can break, to cassette tapes, and then finally to digital software decades ago. The ability to easily encode audio in a digital file format, which could readily be transferred, modified, and stored, unlocked tremendous innovation within the music industry. Audio was freed from its boundaries as a static, fixed format creation. It suddenly was compatible and interoperable across a wide range of devices and applications. It could be combined, broken apart, and programmed to form entirely new products. This also led to the development of novel hardware devices and streaming content business models, greatly benefiting consumers in the American economy. So just as the shift to digital audio revolutionized the music industry, the migration to on-chain securities has the potential to remodel aspects of the securities market by enabling entirely new methods of issuing, trading, owning, and using securities. For example, on-chain securities can utilize smart contracts to transparently distribute dividends to shareholders on regular cadence. Tokenization can also enhance capital formation by transforming relatively illiquid assets into liquid investment opportunities. Blockchain technology holds the promise to allow for a broad swath of novel use cases for securities, fostering new kinds of market activities that many of the Commission's legacy rules and regulations don't even contemplate today. In order for the United States to be the crypto capital of the planet, as envisioned by President Trump, the Commission must keep pace with innovation and consider whether regulatory changes are needed to accommodate on-chain securities and other types of crypto assets. Rules and regulations designed for off-chain securities may be incompatible with or unnecessary for on-chain assets and actually then stifle the growth of blockchain technology. A key priority of my chairmanship will be to develop a rational regulatory framework for crypto asset markets that establishes clear rules of the road for issuance, custody, and trading of crypto assets while continuing to discourage bad actors from violating the law. Clear rules of the road are necessary for investor protection against fraud, not the least to help them identify scams that do not comport with the law. It is a new day at the SEC. Policymaking will no longer result from ad hoc enforcement actions. Instead, the Commission will utilize its existing rulemaking, interpretative, and exemptive authorities to set fit-for-purpose standards for market participants. The Commission's enforcement approach will return to Congress's original intent, which is to police violations of these established obligations, particularly as they relate to fraud and manipulation. This undertaking requires coordination across multiple offices and divisions within the Commission, which is why I'm pleased that Commissioners Ueda and Peirce have worked together to establish the Crypto Task Force. For too long, the Commission has been plagued by policy-making silos within the Commission. The Crypto Task Force exemplifies how our policy divisions can come together to expeditiously provide long-needed clarity and certainty to the American public. Now, I mentioned three areas of focus for crypto asset policy: issuance, custody, and training. So first, with respect to issuance, I intend for the Commission to establish clear and sensible guidelines for distributions of crypto assets that are securities or are subject to an investment contract. Only 4 crypto asset issuers have conducted registered offerings and offerings pursuant to Reg A. Issuers have largely avoided these types of offerings, in part due to challenges in satisfying the associated disclosure requirements. In cases where the issuer does not intend to distribute ordinary securities, such as stock, bonds, or notes, issuers also struggle to determine whether a crypto asset constitutes a security or is subject to an investment contract. In the past few years, the SEC first pursued what I call the head in the sand approach, perhaps hoping that crypto might just go away. Then it pivoted and pursued a shoot first and ask questions later approach of regulation through enforcement. It claimed that it was willing to talk to prospective registrants, just come in and to visit, but this proved ephemeral at best and more misleading, I think, because the SEC made no necessary accommodations to registration forms for the new technology. For example, Form S1 continues to require detailed information regarding executive compensation and the use of proceeds, which may not be relevant or material for investment decisions in crypto assets. While the SEC has previously adapted its forms for offerings of asset-backed securities and by real estate investment trusts, it has not done so far for crypto assets, despite increased investor interests in this space over the last several years. We cannot encourage innovation by trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. I'm committed to the Commission's charting a new course. The Commission staff recently issued a staff statement on disclosure obligations for certain registrations and offerings. The staff also clarified the view that certain distributions and crypto assets do not implicate the federal securities laws, and I expect the staff to continue to provide clarifications at my direction with regard to other types of distributions and assets. However, existing registration exemptions and safe harbors may not be entirely fit for purpose for certain types of crypto asset offerings. I view this construct of staff pronouncements as extremely temporary. Commission action is both vital and necessary. In the meantime, I've asked the Commission staff to consider whether additional guidance, registration exemptions, and safe harbors are needed to create pathways for crypto asset issuances within the United States. I believe that the Commission has broad discretion under the Securities Acts to accommodate the crypto industry, and I intend to get it done. Second, with respect to custody, I support providing registrants with greater optionality in determining how to custody crypto assets. Commission staff recently removed a significant impediment for companies seeking to provide crypto asset custodial services by rescinding Staff Accounting Bulletin number 121. That pronouncement was a grave error. The staff had no place to act so broadly in place of Commission action and without notice and comment rulemaking. The action created needless confusion and went far beyond the jurisdiction of the SEC in its outward workings and effects. However, the SEC can do much more to enhance competition in the market for legally compliant custodial services than merely by getting rid of SAB 121. It's important to provide clarity on the types of custodians that qualify as a qualified custodian under the Advisors Act and the Investment Company Act, as well as reasonable exemptions from the qualified custody requirements to accommodate certain common practices within the crypto asset markets. Many advisors and funds have access to self-custodial solutions that incorporate more advanced technology to safeguard crypto assets as compared to some of the custodians in the marketplace today. Consequently, the custody rules may need to be updated to allow advisors and funds to engage in self-custody under certain circumstances. Additionally, it may be necessary to repeal and replace the special purpose broker-dealer framework with a more rational regime. Only 2 special purpose broker-dealers are in operation today due to the clearly significant limitations that are imposed on these entities. Broker-dealers are not and never were restricted from acting as a custodian for non-security crypto assets or crypto asset securities, but commission action may be needed to clarify the application of the customer protection and net capital rules to this activity. So third, with respect to trading, I am in favor of allowing registrants to trade a broader variety of products on their platforms and in response to market demand, activities which previous commissions had prevented. For example, some broker-dealers seek to go to market with a super app that offers trading in securities and non-securities and other financial securities all under one roof. Nothing in the federal securities laws prohibits registered broker-dealers with an alternative trading system from facilitating trading in non-securities including via pairs trading between securities and non-securities. However, I've asked the staff to help us devise ways to modernize the ATS regulatory regime to better accommodate crypto assets. Additionally, I've asked the staff to explore whether further guidance or rulemaking may be helpful for enabling the listing and trading of crypto assets on a national securities exchange. While the Commission and its staff work to develop a comprehensive regulatory framework for crypto assets, securities markets participants should not be compelled to go offshore to innovate with blockchain technology. I would like to explore whether conditional exemptive relief would be appropriate for registrants and non-registrants that seek to bring new products and services to market that might not otherwise be compatible with current Commission rules and regulations. So I'm eager to coordinate with colleagues in President Trump's administration and in Congress to make the United States the best place in the world to participate in crypto asset markets. So thank you all for your attention, and I look forward to the discussions to follow, and I really look forward to ideas that may come from you participants here. Thank you very much.